Hi, I just want to say you're doing a great job. Like, honestly, really, you're doing a fantastic job. You don't get enough credit. Thank you for being you. You're doing awesome because it's tough out there. It's tough out there for a pimp. I'm 33 and I just got my first hemorrhoid. Oh, yeah. That's fun. That's that's something when you find you're like, maybe I should just stay inside for a few days and, take a break. I feel like I deserve a break because those are fun. That's fun going to the store and being like, hey, where's the ass cream? Do you have ass cream? Not ice cream. I wish I was getting ice cream. No, ass cream. And it has a little thing on the top. It has a little thing you stick in your butt. It glides right in. I would love to have known how they test that. Because it is the perfect size. It doesn't make me question anything. Doesn't feel weird. I've had the finger up the butt. Never had a little plastic thingy up the butt. And it just really... what is the name of the company? It's not Asper Cream. I forget what it is. You know what it is. You're doing a great job. You're not sponsoring the podcast. Screw you. You're doing a great job with the size of the thing you stick in your butthole. It is disgusting. But you're doing a great job because things really are stacked up against us. I don't want to get, this is not a down episode. I'm going to be funny, but I was honored last week. I went to a friend, actually I know both brothers, and their mom unfortunately passed away. And I gotta be, I get weird about, I'm weird basically all the time, but with my parents getting older, it's honestly something that I don't know what the word would be. I get nervous about. I mean, I guess I get nervous about everything, but like if either of my parents don't answer the phone, I'm like, now's the time that I'm gonna get that call. I wish it wasn't, and my nose is itching, but that's it. It freaks me out. But I went to the service, and a lot of it was in Armenian, so I didn't sounded great. Armenian and Hebrew, pretty similar. If you had told me they were speaking Hebrew, I might have a lot of the sounds, but very nice. And what I was struck by during the service was how their mom was very involved in the church and very involved in community. And by the time I got to the church early, I'm Jewish, I always get there early. But by the time I left, there was literally 0 seats. People were standing up, and there were a lot of people who spoke about her and how nice she was, and how caring she was, and it really got me thinking about priorities and really how stupid, if there is some sort of overseeing Rothschild, whatever. This is in tinfoil hat. Sam, help me out. Whatever word, overseeing, overlord. They really think that we are so stupid, and it seems like we might be. I was just there's so much stuff I was thinking about this week. I even going back to applying for jobs before I met Joey and after Joey, they just, even with that, they're like, oh well, we don't want to pay you. We're going to pay you almost nothing. But we want you to be able to do everything and have, 10 years of experience. But I just graduated college. Well, could you have started in middle school? Because that really, frankly, would have been very helpful. They just, I have so much written down. So I am as you guys know, I'm a big tech guy. I love new toys, computers, TVs, phone. I love it all. When the first iPhone came out, I believe it was $300. And I'm almost positive, isn't the new iPhone $1,300-$1,400? Isn't that how much a computer costs? My first car, granted it was a piece of shit, but a car cost me $2,000. And I'm not I'm really not cheap. you might be like, well, yeah, I, I am careful with how I spend my money, but how soon, I was thinking about this on the drive in today, is how long will it take for iPhones to be $2,000? I'm going to guess by 2026, 5 more years, I think iPhones will be $2,000. And we're going to pay, we're going to line up to pay for it. We're going to line up to pay for it. What has changed in an iPhone in the last 7 years that really makes that big of a difference? Okay, it's faster. I'll give you that. The camera's better, but here's a question I have. What picture have you taken that really needs to be in 4K? I don't even know if an iPhone has 4K, but let's just say, does your food look better? Like that much? Is it worth the extra $800? Does the dick pic that you saw, well, my dick looks, you can see the freckle. I have a freckle on my dick. There's $1,300 for a phone every 2 years, and they put stuff in there that makes it break. Like, isn't that? I'm almost positive that's a fact. None of this. I know some people there's nothing but facts on this podcast. Not my podcast is all stuff I think I may have heard. Maybe that should be the name. Lee Syatt's stuff he thinks he may have heard and kind of remembers throughout his marijuana ruined memory. But didn't they get in trouble, Apple, for putting out software updates that make the phone work slower? And they have parts in there. Like, my mom has kitchen utensils, like the mixer. She has a mixer that she still uses today that she had before I was born. Now, she might take care of her things better than I have. That's true. But why does a phone about 18 months after you start using it just turn into a pile of garbage? And I've bought too many of them. I'm not going to go back to a flip phone. I'm not an asshole. But, sorry, you're not an asshole, but I like having some things. I like GPS. I like having, that's really all you need. Like that, GPS and internet on the go to look up places to eat. I know Google has a phone, but they should just come out with the Google Maps phone, and it has email. And I don't even really want that. Isn't it annoying that people know that, why didn't you respond to my email? Well, because I was really? You didn't have your phone all weekend? You didn't have your they know that we are here. So we have to respond now. It freaks me out that some people I haven't checked my email in 3 days, but I'm jealous. Wouldn't it be great to just not check your email or your phone? I wish my phone's right here. Boom. I'm not going to look at it. It's sitting right there. Imagine if I pulled it up. Have you done this? I've done it. Pulled up, and you open up your browser, and it's just porn. I'm going to have to start doing a check. I've done it in front of my girlfriend 3 or 4 times. Luckily, she's cool. But why is this right here? I'm fully addicted to it, and I wish I wasn't. And I get to say, it's part of my job. I really don't post that much. For the amount that I'm on it, I should have posted every 3 minutes. You should see constant updates of what I'm doing. Constant. But and this is another thing that really inspired. I'm hoping. I've made a lot of changes this year. I've gotten healthier, but there's a lot more that I need to change. And even last night with Glover Teixeira winning the belt, and I know we're not supposed to talk about stuff that's just in the news, but it happened, and he's 42 and he's the champ, and it was, I like Jan Blachowicz, is that his name? Um, but it was cool. It really was. Like, even I bet even Jan, when he's like sitting there, like, I know, like, he's pissed that he lost, but that, like, just that story of being 42, getting sent. Like, I read his story today. I've seen Glover Teixeira fight, but I knew he lost to John Jones, but I didn't know even before that he was in Connecticut and then got sent back to Brazil for 4 years until he could come here legally. And, like, I've been down on myself. I'm 33. I'm still living with not still, but I've been living with my parents for a year. It can get kind of like, oh, like, it's easy to start thinking negatively, but to be like, you could be 42 and be like at the top for the first time. That's pretty. And I guarantee that Glover Teixeira isn't on social media as much as I am, wasting time caring about what people think, answering email. He doesn't answer an email. I don't think Glover Teixeira has answered an email since 2003. Probably not true, but it sounded cool. It's just getting back to how stupid people think we are. Like, I remember I worked at a movie theater in high school and college, and no one's been there in about 18 months, and this is why I love movie theaters, but I love movie theaters, and I hope they don't all close. And I'm probably, by the way, I'm gonna be in LA next month, November, or I guess it's this month now, November 13th. By the time this comes out, it'll be live. I'm gonna be at the Fourth Wall in North Hollywood, November 13th, 10:30 at night. I have a bunch of great people. I have a special guest, and I'm gonna be there for my retirement show. Actually, I'm retiring most likely. But the link will be in the description. Please come out. Tickets are $5. I would love to see you. But why? Oh, I'm going to a movie. Coming back. I'm going to a movie theater when I'm in LA, and I love like the New Beverly. That's where I'm going. And I'm gonna go because I love movie theaters. I love getting a drink, and I usually don't even get popcorn, but I'm gonna get popcorn at the New Beverly because it's delicious. But I love going to movies. Like, the majority of my teen and early 20 years were spent at movie theaters, but they just fuck you. Like, it's not a good experience. There's other people there, which I've never been a fan of, but at the concession stand, and I'm no matter how much weight I lose, I will always be a chubby dude at heart. And my heart, I was gonna get dark there. It's always gonna be full of fat, but even like the combos, when they say get a large popcorn, a large drink, you don't save any money. They just literally put the two together, and then it's like, you would think a combo. Oh, if you get a combo, you save no more. You don't save any money anymore. It's the same price. It's the same price. It's they just take any joy that you could possibly have, and like they what's the word? They take advantage of it. They exploit it. That's the word I was looking for. And they take, like, it's just disappointing. It really is. Like, oh, who doesn't love getting food delivered? I do. I've gotten more food delivered than anyone probably in the history of the world. And remember when you would call and it would actually just be the restaurant delivering your food, and it would be hot? Remember hot food that was delivered? That was nice. But no, now you get to do it on that $1,300 phone, and you get to watch them. You get to stalk them the entire way. By the way, I've done that, not with food, but I had an Amazon delivery once, and you get to see where they are. And the guy, for 3 hours, sat in the same spot, so I went around looking for him, and I actually woke up a guy sleeping in a van. Wasn't him. I didn't get my stuff, but it is kind of creepy that you can follow them, but they charge you double. A $20 meal turns into a $40 meal, and then the food is just always cold. It's just always cold. Always cold? It's always cold. It's a scam. Anything that is supposed to be fun, like, what's fun. It's like it's Halloween tonight. That's fun. And they're ruining that, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but you can't bring candy into school anymore. That was that was the best part about Halloween is you get Halloween, you go out. And by the way, they're limiting, at least around here. I don't know. Hopefully you live in a more fun part of the country or world. When I used to go, like, I've never liked walking or outdoors ever. Those are the two that my entire life I've been. Ask my mom. Lee, has Lee ever liked walking or being outside? No. How trick or treating? You go out until your shoes fall apart. I would stay out until people would be like, just take the rest of my candy so I can go to bed. And then I would get home and I'd pour it out on the ground and I'd trade with my brother and I'd take all the Reese's and all the Kit Kats because those are my favorite and I'd put them in a Tupperware and then every day at school I'd take 2 or 3, maybe 4, and I'd bring it into school. And it would last hopefully until the end of the year. It would suck when you were getting low and you're like, oh no, I had too many Reese's early on. Now all I have is plain M&Ms. You can't bring candy into school for lunches anymore. You can't bring cupcakes into school for lunch anymore. I'm not joking. My girlfriend's kids, they can bring in their favorite book and the teacher will read it to the class. I can't bring in a cupcake to eat while I'm listening to it. I understand that there might be peanut allergies. Don't put peanuts in it. There's plenty of non-peanut cupcake options. Well, what if someone's gluten-free? Well, let me know and I'll buy them a gluten-free whatever muffin. I don't know. What are they? That's all. That's why I opened this with saying, like, you're doing a great, like, they're just taking everything that could be fun and just sticking their finger in it. It really, they're just, and listen, it's just crazy. And I'm not down, like, I'm really not down. That's why I talked about the funeral, which shouldn't be a reason to be happy, but it just showed me, like, what to, like, focus on. Like, it really is a good, I hope you never have to go to a funeral, but it was, I don't know what the word is. I didn't enjoy it. No one enjoys a funeral, but I think it was good for me to go, not only to support my friends, but to, like, realize, because I think we all know that we're not going to be here forever, but it kind of goes out of your brain. At least for me, it does. I try not to think about it. But if you really did think about it, if I really did think about it, there would be a lot of things that I would do differently. But I'm still, look at Glover. He's 42 in the chain. I'm still young enough to make changes, to live life differently, and I'm gonna try. Because I went car shopping with someone recently, and they just scam you at every turn. They come in, they're joking with you. Would you like a glass of water? And then they just fuck you real slow. It's not dry. They give you the water's lube, and then they're gonna call you back, and they're gonna give you all these numbers, and they're gonna do the best they can. Oh, your kids. Well, they're gonna love this car. And then, like, I remember I leased a car. And my mom told me to get Gap insurance because she's a lawyer and she reads everything and I trust her. And Gap insurance is when if you lease a car, if it gets totaled or something and they don't give you the money, the insurance doesn't give you all the money it's worth, this insurance will cover whatever's left over so you don't owe money on a car that's fucked up. And I was negotiating. I felt like a real man. I was like, no, I'm not doing this deal without Gap insurance. And the car salesman was like, you are a tough negotiator. We'll give it to you. And then I get to the finance office and I said, I just want to make sure that the Gap insurance that I negotiated is in there. And she looked at me. She said, well, all of our leases come with Gap insurance. And I wanted to shit my pants in that office. I just wanted to take a big poop in my pants because that's what, like, and I'm sure if you're a salesman, I'm sure you're a good person because I probably never dealt with you. But, and I get it, it's just a job. I understand. But I hate sale. I hate it so much. Sales is it makes me so uncomfortable, and I'm so bad at it. I do podcast consulting. Do I ever bring it up? Nope, almost never, because it makes me feel like, I feel like if you want it, you'll look for it and hopefully find me. Um, I it makes my nipple itch. Legitimately, it makes how Tom says, you make my pussy dry. Sales make my nipple itch, and I don't like it. But I just, every time I'm involved with any sort of sales or any sort of, like, I don't know, someone trying to get my money, which I guess is sales, you just feel so gross. Like health insurance. I'm such a nervous person that I pay for I think the best health insurance you can get. I know the word is a PPO. I pay $700 a month for health insurance. I still have a deductible, and the best part is, when or if, hopefully never, I get sick, will it just be covered? No, I'll just owe a little bit less. Like, my parents, when I was growing up, were big, and they said, and my mom would tell me all the time, like, don't wish away being a kid. You only get to be a kid for a little bit. And I couldn't wait to be an adult. I couldn't wait to get a job, to get a car, an apartment, and a house, hopefully at some point. And I know that there's hopefully not any kids listening to this, but, like, let's say you're like 18. I'm going to hope you're at least 18 to 23. Just who cares about the car you're driving, or frankly your job? Like, have a job and make money, but you could always find a new job. You could always, don't give them, go on vacation. I know, I get it. There's a lot of people grind. And that's great. It's great to have money, and it's great to be successful, but even if it's like your own business, a small business, who cares? Like, it's not that who cares, but really, who cares? If people the woman who passed away was a nurse. They didn't talk one bit about the Saturday that she went in. No one goes to a funeral. If you're at your funeral and they go, he was a great employee, he ran a great business, that would be a kind of a stinky funeral, don't you think? Like that, is that what you want people to say about you? He was nice. We went on some great trips. He made food for, like, it really just made me think, like, then this is the two biggest lies that they tell us, like social media. I was talking about how much time I waste on it earlier. I don't know if you saw this, but Facebook, which by the way now changed its name, made $30 billion last quarter. So every 3 months, they make $30 billion. It's $120 billion a year. McDonald's made $6.2 billion last quarter. So that means they make $24 to $30 billion a year. They have 37,000 restaurants. I Googled this. Did I just know it? No. How does a free service that people complain about ads, and they have DVRs to skip through commercials, and then we sign up and spend our entire lives on a commercial app? That's all it is. The internet is a big commercial, and we think we're so special because we get to fast forward it, or we have streaming now. We don't have commercials anymore. But now our entire life is a commercial, and they made, on a down quarter, $30 billion. Facebook made $30 billion How has Facebook made your life better? At least McDonald's gives you a cheeseburger and French fries that are delicious. Hope with some kind of. They make in a year. McDonald's makes less than Facebook makes in a quarter. Isn't that kind of crazy? Everyone knows about McDonald's. Most people probably know about Facebook, but there's definitely some people who don't. That's just so much money. $30 billion. That's $10 billion a month. Yep. How much is that a day? I don't know. Who cares? $10 billion a month Facebook makes off of ads. That's the only way they make money. It's disappointing. And it's like, that's the biggest thing with, like, the thing that I've never liked is politics. I hate politics. I hate it. They're like the top tier level of salesmen, and I don't care what side you like, frankly. I really don't. But this is why I don't vote. And people are like, oh, how you? Like, I told some of my family members I don't vote, and they yelled at me for like 4 hours. I get it. If you don't vote, you can't be upset at the outcome. Well, first of all, yes, I can. Second of all, I don't care who you voted for. Name me one politician who has came through on what they said they were going to do. Like, one. And the excuse always is, well, they couldn't because the other side wouldn't let them. And didn't we know that already? Like, isn't that like they knew the other side wasn't gonna sorry. They knew the other side wasn't gonna like them when they were running. Did they like, oh, I thought I thought they were gonna let me do everything I wanted to do. No, that is their job, is to be like, well, your ideas suck, so do our ideas. And then it switches in 4 years or 8. And then the other side is like, well, now I'm not going to let you do it. It's a scam. It's all a lot. That I think that's what the main theme of this episode is do what makes you happy. Honestly, do what makes you happy. You're doing a great job, because everything that you're supposed to like or do is a scam. Everything. Work is a scam. Politics is a scam. Things are a scam. And everything that actually makes you happy, like friends or family, or even, hey, maybe just being by yourself. Kids are great. I love kids. I think I want kids, but I know a lot of people out there who say I don't want kids. People get mad at them. Maybe you have the right idea. Maybe you get to sleep to whenever you want to get to sleep to. Get to do whatever you. Why is that bad? Why do you have to have kids? You don't. It's great if you want to have kids. That's awesome. They're cute. They love you. They say, "Oh, don't go, don't go." It feels nice. It's like a puppy, but it gets to talk to you. And might take care of you when you get older, if you're nice to it. So, I mean, there's benefits to both. Food, sitting and taking a nap. Anything that like actually makes you happy doesn't have to be that hard. All this, like, yeah, kids are expensive, but they give you that love, and you're taking care of another human. That this 2000 eventually. I wonder if eventually phones will be $10,000. Probably, right? Do you think maybe in like 20 years the next iPhone 50 will be like 10,000? I bet it. I bet it will. By the time we get to iPhone 50, we'll be on episode 8,000 of this podcast. Prediction: iPhones will be 10 grand, and it probably won't even be a phone. The chip. The Apple chip that only needs to be updated every 7 years will be 10 grand. Do what makes you happy. You're doing a great job. Don't overthink it. everything that like you're supposed to like or that people make you feel bad about is a scam. They're wrong. You're right. You're doing great. I love you, and have a great week. Really, that's all that matters. Is just have as good of a time without hurting anybody, and by hopefully making someone else happy. That's what I hope, because we're coming to the end of the year. Is I hope that's what the last almost 2 years has taught us. Thank you so much for listening to What Was I Thinking? You're awesome. I love you, and I'll see you next week.